On the internet, while there are tens of thousands of sites, some of them can be creepy sites that receive no visits, are abandoned, and contain countless mysteries. Come on, let's explore these abandoned sites.
Worlds, the internet's first metaverse, a 3D virtual world platform in continuous service since 1994. In October of that same year, Worlds announced a partnership with Steven Spielberg, the Starbright Foundation.
Worlds.com metaverse? You have probably heard this term for the first time from this man. You could enter the meta world with virtual reality. However, Verscom was doing exactly the same thing 30 years ago. This is exactly what I meant by an abandoned internet. This metaverse MMO game was like the hobo games we used to play. When you entered the site, you would create your character and enter the world. And you would hang out with people there. But after 30 years have passed, no one was left playing the game and it was abandoned. In the end, it became unusable. However, there is a problem. Even though it was abandoned, the server support was still open, so you could still play the game. Nexialist discovered this loophole. One day, in 2013, he remembered playing such a game and wanted to enter again. He opened the site without hesitation, but was met with a surprising result. He was able to enter the game, but there was something strange. It seemed like he was the only one who discovered this, because he roamed the streets and traveled through dozens of worlds, but there was no one else. Normally, this would have saddened him, but for his diabolical plan, this was invaluable. A blessing. Folks, there's a detail I need to mention for the story to continue here. If you wanted their conversations not to be discovered by the feds and the state, where would they have these conversations? The first thing that might come to all of your minds is the dark web. However, the dark web is not the same place it used to be. After the closure of the dark web's largest vendor site, Silk Road, in 2013, the state took over the dark web. Almost every site you enter on the dark web is monitored by the state. That's why it's now a bad option. Since the dark web is no longer viable, where could these conversations take place? Of course, in an abandoned MMO game that no one visits anymore, not even cared for by its creator. Yes, Nexialist realized this on that day. From that day on, he conducted his illegal activities from there. He also started to draw his other friends who were involved in illegal activities to this place. They formed a cult here and discussed such matters. Of course, they weren't the only ones entering the game. Occasionally, some people would enter the game and see him and his team. There were even people who shared these things. The people who shared said that they were acting like a cult and appeared quite disturbing. The number of people saying and sharing these words increased. This made Wordscom unusable for them. In the end, after the events, they shut down their servers. Nexialist transitioned to another platform. Since then, their identity has not been revealed and they have not been caught. Even if they haven't been caught, the stories about them have persisted to this day. Alongside this internet legend about Words.com, there's another point I want to mention. Somehow you can still play Words.com. The desolation in the gameplay I included while telling this story, the absence of anyone, and its strange eeriness evoke peculiar feelings within a person. Years ago, in the bustling environments where even celebrities used to play and people could hang out, now no one passes by except for our character. Exit Mundi. When you enter this abandoned website, you encounter dozens of different subpages. The site's theme is to create a chilling list of apocalypse scenarios that could end the world. Okay, this site is abandoned and quite disturbing, but reading some of them can actually be enjoyable. Because the person writing these scenarios also approaches them with a humorous angle. Let me tell you one. One day, you wake up to find your neighbor's little girl in your hallway. She's just standing there. She looks at you silently. You rub your eyes, and you start asking her what happened. But then she jumps on you. In shock, she sinks her teeth into your neck, and you die. But not quite. A few seconds later, you wake up again. You can't speak or think. Your personality is gone. The only thing left, that used to be you, walking, decaying, a corpse with bad breath. A deep growl emerges from your lips. You are so hungry. Soon the world is overrun by zombies like you. In the streets, in the shops, in every house. So, there are zombies all over the world. Zombies gathered around the last group of humans. And they destroy them too. There's even a computer simulation about this. In such a scenario, it is said that people would have no chance. The zombie scenario can appear in many forms. In some movies and books, a virus turns us into zombies. In others, it happens as a result of a chemical mishap. What causes this whole event remains uncertain. And perhaps it's better this way. Because no matter how you look at it, walking and killing corpses are certainly a bit unrealistic. Zombies defy all logic. How can someone who is too badly injured to live still be alive? How can a decaying corpse still roam around and attack you? Why would they go after living people in the first place? Wouldn't it be easier if they cooked themselves a meal? Or if they went to a Burger King or something? With such bad breath, they would definitely let you go first. Let's look at a few facts about zombies. Fortunately, deceased people are not cannibals. There is no known condition that turns corpses into killers. Usually Archie as the dead are dead. Indeed, some of us, for example, those who have been revived in a hospital, have managed to return to life. However, they generally do not have a special appetite for raw human flesh. So why are they so popular? Why do zombies scare us so much? Obviously, a large part of this is related to our instinctive fear of death and our disgust for corpses. Corpses and cannibalism are two of our deepest taboos, and breaking them terrifies us. Death and Health? A website created by a deranged man interested in Satanism, going through a midlife crisis before taking his own life. Filled with images of deceased people and various grotesque visuals. With his own depiction of hell and 25 illustrations, I do not recommend visiting this mysterious site. As soon as you enter the site, a text appears. Initially, I depicted the person who created the site based on this text. Let me read the first part, then I'll tell you the important sections from the whole. For the 18 months before my death, I continued to reveal the keys to death and hell. During this process, I depicted a snapshot of the world as it appeared to me, in the literal sense of the word. From various articles, science fiction, cultural and political events, events in that cultural realm, flame wars on the ZIH list, my life, my world, from my emails, etc. A cut and paste was taken. Reiki. So it was a cut version of these. Somehow the most beautiful vision of infinite compassion leaked from this excerpt. And this vision emerged. Then it stood out even amidst all the horror. Very bright, it shone truly and undeniably as real. There was much more compassion and love for me than I had imagined or thought. It was like a paradise garden blooming with beauty and love around me. This incredible garden was always there. And it opened up to me. After this, he talks about his daughter and wife. Knowing that his own death was approaching, he knew about the afterlife thanks to those who passed away before him. He talks about going to hell and solving the secrets there. He left his experiences on this path on the website to immortalize them. As we progress on the website, there is a pentagram in the center. On it, the keys to death and hell are written. Around them there are 40 sections filled with various disgusting things. 25 of them are filled, while 15 are empty. When you enter the filled ones, you encounter images of the type I mentioned earlier. It was discovered by chance 2 years ago. This place is quite disturbing. The situation with this website is a bit different. When we type it into the browser and enter, this is what happens. It redirects you to Disney's homepage. If you ask what's strange about that, it's like this. When you look at the old records of this site, you can see that it was an underground forum. The times it was active were the early days of the internet, the 90s. People weren't sharing normal things here. In times when the police couldn't monitor the internet. Because if I even pronounce them now, things of the kind that might lead to the video being removed were present on this website, so even if I can't say what kind of images they were, you can understand. People were selling powdered sugar and 18+ videos here. And these 18+, I don't need to mention what kind of illegal parts these videos contained. This is the main question. Why? When we enter a site with such a history, it redirects to Disney. Anyone who wants can buy a domain and set up a redirect. But the interesting part is that the owner of this site's domain is Disney itself. Why would Disney acquire a site with such a bad history of illegal activities? This is how we discovered the abandoned internet. If you want to see disturbing websites like this, you can check out this video of mine. You can also proceed to another video selected for you from here. And you can like and comment as well. Also, if you're not subscribed, you can subscribe. Until the next video then, goodbye. And don't forget, you can follow this Instagram. That would be great. Bye bye.